Welcome to Shotgun Sports USA. Powered by Winchester Ammunition, the American legend. If your thing is clay target sports, you're in the right place. Listen to the best shotgun shooters from all over the world in every discipline. Championship-winning coaches, gun clubs, target setters, vendors, as well as companies that make it all happen. Check us out online at shotgunsportsusa.com. Like us on Facebook and follow on Instagram. Shotgun Sports USA is also driven by Beretta. Beretta, the #1 choice of champions. Also brought to you by Rick Hemingway's Promatic Trap Sales, Cole Gunsmithing, Clay Target Vision, Castellani USA and Ultimate Shooting Accessories, Sound Gear, Clay Shooter Supply, and Falcon Strike.
My guest this week has definitely been on top of his game for 2023. We talk about the ups and downs so far in his shooting career, his coaching business, a few funny stories, and what his plans are for the future. This guy is always fun to talk to. Welcome to the show, Todd Hitch. Todd, what's up, man?
Not much. How you doing, Justin? Thanks for having me on.
I think the last time that I talked to you was the episode we did with the junior team before they went over. I think you were actually in England when we talked, and all that's over with now. Let's talk about that for a second. How was your trip over there, and just talk about the turnout of the World Championship?
Yeah, the trip overseas this year was a great trip. I got to be in England for 2 weeks. So they would be tours for the week before and shot the World Championship the week of. The first shoot was the World English. It was at EJ Churchill. It was first time for me at EJ Churchill. It definitely is a fantastic venue. I would recommend anybody going there. We got some fantastic food on site for you, Justin, so maybe you have to come over next time.
Yes.
The targets were good. Everything was fair. Then the entire Team USA, we flew from England over to Hungary. Thankfully, we made our flight. I may or may not have made Zach Keeman run to the airport. She may not be happy with me about, but
you made him run. I've never seen Zach run.
Yeah, no, he didn't look too happy. We got to the gate and looked behind me, and he looked like he'd seen a ghost. So I'm not sure if that's a sign or not.
He's about to pass out.
Yeah, well, I did him a favor. I kind of made him one. I will say that because he didn't think we were gonna make the flight, and I said, "Yeah, let's do it." And I grabbed his luggage and just took off running. So I kind of made him. But if we wouldn't have made the flight, we would not have made it to Hungary that day. So it worked out.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, so World English at EJ, World FITASC in Hungary, right? How did the team finish at World English?
Junior team at World English, we fortunately shot very well that week, and we were able to walk away with the junior gold for the team, so it worked out very well. Then we flew over to Hungary, and we were fortunate to win the team gold over there as well.
Is this your first time overseas?
It was my first time to England,
okay,
but it was not my first time overseas. I went over last year and the year before that into Hungary and Italy.
Okay, so you've been to first time EJ, second time to Hungary.
Yes.
Okay, which place do you like the best?
I liked England the best. So I liked England due to the greenery and the weather. It was more the background relative to the targets were more like East Tennessee.
Yeah.
But the variation in terrain and coloration that we had in Hungary this year was probably second to none. I've never seen anything like it before. It truly did look like you were shooting on Mars. There was red clay everywhere. Some of the hardest targets you ever shot. I know for a fact that there were several of the Team USA members say that they'd never shot a target like that before. and that says something. The one of the cliffs, Phil Gray actually, one of the parkours, Phil Gray straighted it, and I didn't think it was a straightable parkour. The parkour was tough all around, and the last peg had, I'd say, a 90 to 95 yard batu off the top of a koi. It was almost identical to a target I set on the court at my farm, and I never thought I'd see a target that big in a competition.
Did you hit it?
No, no. And I was expecting to, because I actually recognized the target, and I was like, well, here we go. That practice paid off, but it didn't quite pay off. At least there's only one bird that you shot one time, so worked out.
FITASC just takes so long to shoot.
Yeah, the first day at World FITASC, they had some issues with the targets. There was so much strain that getting the targets to the traps on the trucks fractured the clays, so there ended up being quite a few no birds, and ended up taking us 5 hours to shoot 50 targets that first day. Thankfully, they figured out the issue and went back, and there was no further issues the rest of the weekend.
5 hours to shoot 50 birds?
Yes.
Yes. I'd have got
it
on.
It was a very long day, to say the least.
I mean, what was you lay? I think I saw a picture of somebody laying up under trees. Is that why they were doing that?
Yeah, I may or may not have a picture of Thaddeus, the photographer, taking a nap laid out on the red clay. May or may not.
There's one thing about you, Todd. You've always got something up your sleeve. I don't care what it is. You could be at a shoot somewhere here, and something's going to happen if you're close to Todd. So it just happens everywhere.
Hey, I must tell you, if you're not having fun, well, then you don't need to be there. So,
yeah.
And if you look at it, anybody that's ever had a good day of shooting, which everybody has, you've never had a good day of shooting without having fun.
Man, you've had a few good times like that. That's for sure. So
we definitely have.
All right, so 5 hours to shoot 50 birds. What else you got to say? Let's talk about the positive stuff.
Yeah, so Hungary, I was only there for the week of the tournament. We flew in Sunday morning. Then we were there through the following Sunday. So we were there for 7 days total.
Yeah.
During the weeks, I got to go tour at Tomas Jering's place. He was the target setter for this year's World FITASC. He's got a fantastic facility. I could be mistaken on this number, but I believe he's got 26 FITASC pegs set up at his facility. It's one of the best training grounds I've ever shot at.
Wow.
They throw fantastic targets and are very similar to targets you see in tournaments. So if anybody's in Hungary, I'd highly recommend going. I shot there twice the week of in preparation for the shoot. Was fortunate to shoot good enough there on the last day. I ended up shooting my last parkour to win the Junior World title by one bird. So it was a very, very good week, to say the least.
Yeah. Have you won the Junior World Championship yet?
I have not. No, I have not. So hopefully this upcoming year, I can win it for sporting, so I can check both boxes.
When's your last year as a junior?
I believe I was actually talking to Dad last night about this. I want to say I have one more year in junior. So if I was looking at the NCAA rule book, and it's based off of what age you are on January 1st, and I'll be turning 21 in March of next year. So I believe I will have all of next year in a junior, except I think there was an exception for the World FITASC, because the FITASC rule book says the year you turn 21, you're moved in open category. So I believe for the World FITASC, I'll be shooting open division, but for World English, I will be on the junior division. But I could be mistaken on this, because I haven't officially gotten confirmation on my answers.
All right, so you won your little trophy, and then you came back to the U.S., right?
Yes.
All right, and then you turned around, and you flew straight out to California for the Jalisco Nationals.
Yes. Yeah, flew home Monday night, did laundry Tuesday, and then Wednesday flew to California. But Wednesday I flew to Maryland, D.C., picked up Hoss Hewitt, then flew to California with him.
All right, so you shoot a little bit of everything.
Yes.
Do you not ever get tired of it?
you have to balance it for sure. It's definitely very easy to get burnt out of touch, and that's part of the reason why you got to keep it fun. Because if you're not keeping it fun, you burn yourself out very quickly. And I think it's part of the reason why I'm pretty like minded and like to have a good time while I'm at the shoots. Is
Yeah.
that because it keeps yourself from getting burned out. You enjoy it more and you remember what you did. If you go to a shoot and you're feeling burnt out and not having fun, you won't remember anything from the trip.
How do you have fun but still stay competitive? See, that's a problem I think I would have. Like, if I'm really competitive, I don't know that I would want to have a whole lot of fun and joking around when I'm trying to be competitive. But you can do that. How do you do that?
Yes, there is a fine line between being too competitive and having too much fun where it keeps you out. You're not focusing well enough. The best thing I use as example was this past weekend was the South Central Regional. I shot 99 in the prelim, missed my first bird out in my last station of the course. I don't think I haven't had that much fun on a course in a while. The only reason I was able to shoot at that level while we were joking around that much while we were on the course is because I've helped and I've practiced this year figuring out how to get myself engaged in focus mode. So I've enabled myself to where I can essentially, if I need to focus, it's go mode, and I'm locked in, focused, ready to go, and I'm able to step in and out of that easier than I have this year than I have in the past. In past years, I have not been able to do that. So that's how I balance keeping it light and keeping it fun while still focusing. Now you're not joking around too much. You're just joking around. Your buddies and stuff. You're roasting each other back and forth for saying something or doing something funny as you normally would, but you're not doing it while you're in the stand. When you're that second shooter up or third shooter up, that's when you start putting that game face on, get your mind ready.
All right, so you got back. You're done with Elise. All right. Now you're still taking college classes, right?
Yes, correct. I do online college.
All right, you're coaching, right?
Yes.
All right, you're shooting all these tournaments. How do you have enough time to? I mean, this is a serious question. How do you have enough time to do all of this? I would just think something would have to give. Like you would have to just not be as good at something as the other. But I don't think that's the case.
It's all about time management. You got a lot of time in a day if you use it properly, so you have to manage it. Now there have been times in some where I've done a very poor job of that, and it's been very stressed out couple of weeks, but thankfully those weeks have not been enough tournaments and stuff, so it hasn't affected my shooting much. So typically if I'm doing a lesson, I'm doing 8 to 10 hours a day. That day, if I'm out of state locations, I'll wake up. Say my lesson will start at 9 a.m. I do 9 to 7. I'll wake up at 6 to do lessons. So I do school from 6:30 to 8. Drive to the club and get that 30 minutes before the lesson. Do lessons all day. I'm watching the birds just like I'm shooting them. I'm teaching my students just as hold myself to as a high of accountability level as I am. Then I get done with lessons, drive back. Then I do school from about 8 to 9:30 to 10.
And do it all over the next day.
Yes.
That's crazy. All right, so let's talk about school. All right. You're taking online classes. What's your major?
I'm a business management major.
Okay. Which you probably won't ever use that degree, but at least you've got it. Do they have like a shoot management degree? Because that's probably what you need to be getting.
No, that'd be nice. That'd be a lot easier for me to get A's in that class than business. But no, so my plan at the moment. My old plan was to open boat and RV storage units on a family farm as a side job for what I'm doing currently. But I'm actually going to open a wedding venue on our family farm. We've got a perfect spot for it in Louisville, Tennessee. A good view on top of the hill. So I'm going to open a wedding and event center with it. So I will get to use my business degree, thankfully.
Yeah. Yeah, but you use business degree for a lot. You can use your business degree for coaching. I mean,
definitely.
So you're coaching, and I didn't realize you were coaching like you are until I've been talking to you, but you're traveling all over the country coaching.
Yes, since May, I believe I've been home 20 days since May.
And you've been coaching or shooting since then?
Yes, I'd say it's probably been 80% coaching, 20% shooting / travel.
All right. And so just run me out to the end of the year. How many free days do you have?
So between now and December 30th, I'll have well, essentially now into the first of the year, I have the week and a half before nationals. I'll be at the house, but I have lessons at the house. Then I'll go from nationals. I'll be home, do lessons that week. Week after that, I'll be in Georgia giving lessons. Then I'll go straight from Georgia to Dallas. I'll be giving lessons in Dallas. Then it's Thanksgiving week. Then I get 1st of December. I have the last 3 days of November. I'm giving lessons in Kentucky. Then after that, I'll be giving lessons in Texas. Then I'll be in Nashville giving lessons December 12th through 14th. And then it's the week of Christmas and New Year's where I'll be doing local lessons on the house. And then in 2024, from up and through January 3rd through the Jack Links Cup, I'll be in Florida coaching at a Quail Creek plantation.
What?
So it's a busy schedule, to say at least.
I had no idea. No idea that you coach that much.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I've got a few openings in. I'd say I've probably got 3 or 4 openings in October. Then the rest of it's gonna be. I got a few openings in November and December. So if anybody like a lesson, message me sooner than later.
Man, I had no idea that you coach that much. That is crazy. So I just, how do you have this much work to do as a coach?
I guess you the best advertisement for yourself is word of mouth and results of students. And thankfully, I've been able to coach quite a few students in Tennessee that have been able to achieve quite a bit at a national level and state level, and that's got my demand up. I've got some kids in Texas that are looking very well. The ones in Tennessee, one of my students he's the president and he's starting a shooting team at the University of Tennessee, and hopefully in next year and a half or so they will be giving out scholarships for it. And the contact on that is Wyatt Freels. He's the president of the club. I believe Christopher Keller is going to end up going there, and they're looking at a few other very solid athletes to go to that school as well.
So just let's call out a few of them, of your students that are doing well.
So just the ones off my top of the head real quick. Wyatt Freels, he's one of my original students. He's done very well. Christopher Kelly, Thomas Jacob, he actually won the North Central Regional 5-stand, beat me in the shoot-off outright. I've got a few up-and-comers in the ladies category. The Hillard girls, still looking very well. Dalton Bailey, he shot very well at the Tennessee State this past week. Charles Chelly, he's looking at going on a shooting scholarship. Ashley Sellers, she's Lady SCTP national title holder. A student of mine, Luke Johnson, he just signed to Hillsdale College up in Michigan. And there's quite a few more, but those are just the ones listed off the top of my head real quick.
Wow. So what they're doing is they're taking lessons, they're successful, and they're telling their friends, and their friends are telling their friends, word of mouth, like you said.
Yeah, definitely. I did. Jake Slaves, he's a good shooter as well. He's up and coming.
So that means you're not practicing as much as you used to because you're coaching everybody and doing everything else for everybody else, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's correct. So essentially, because I've been watching so many targets and lessons, if I'm giving a full week of lessons on average, I'm watching between 8,000 to 10,000 targets a week that way. So I'm looking at more buds than I ever have, but I'm not being behind the gun as much. And I think the only reason that's helping me a lot is because how much I've shot in years past, where I've gotten my technique to a point where it's consistent enough. I'm not having to do gun mountains every night. I'm not having to shoot 500 to 1,000 shares a week in practice. Now I'm able to, as I'm looking at the birds, I'm moving with my body just as I would be if I'm shooting. That way I'm able to tell exactly what the student's doing, and it's allowing me to get good reads on birds. I'm watching birds and I'm able to benefit the shooter doing a lesson, then I'm even myself getting something out of just by teaching myself the discipline to look at that many birds when your eyes are as tired as they can be.
I don't know if people know this, but you didn't take a whole lot of lessons yourself.
Yeah, so I'd say I've taken between 10 and 15 lessons total in my entire shooting career. I did not take a lesson until I hit master class. I've taken quite a few lessons from Tom C, and he's the guy I consider to be my coach and mentor. I've looked up to him for a long time. He won the first 2 shoots I've been at, and we talk on the phone quite often. We're actually getting ready to shoot together in October for the Nationals. Then I've also taken a lesson or 2 from Wendell as well. He's helped me a good bit.
So what made you choose Tom as your coach?
Yeah, he's closer to me. We kind of hit it off better.
Yeah,
our personalities alike, and we've just had a great friendship. And he seems like he's always had my very best interest in me, and I will enjoy hanging out with him.
From what I can remember, a few years back, you went into a phase where you started shooting bad for you, like bad. I'm talking about bad. What was that dip, and when was that, and what was that dip?
Yeah, so that dip was in 2020. It wasn't too bad of a dip, but it was just a dip that was very aggravating, frustrating as a shooter. I was shooting very good. End up my head managed to end up become 2 to 3 inches off the stock, where in past it was about half an inch or less. So I was close enough to the barrel, even though my head was not on the stock. I was keeping my head in a consistent enough spot to the barrel where my eye had learned the barrel to bird relationship. And as long as I looked at the bird good, I could shoot at a very high level that way. And then my head ended up becoming 2 to 3 inches off the stock, enough to where if I turned my head off to the side, my chin was actually over the cone of my gun. And they ended up losing that muzzle to barrel to bird relationship that I had because I did not have my head on the stock. Then that happened around April or May of 2020. Then I ended up causing a lot of flinching bad enough to I about want to stop shooting. I had numerous rounds where I'd be on a winning score, down 1 or 2 birds. A few stations get the pressure kicks in a little bit, get a little bit tight, and end up flinching because I'd lost my connection and it was searching. I was trying to look at too many things at once, end up causing my eye to move too fast to be in front of the bird, end up putting so much lead on a bird. I would have to stop my gun, which would be the flinch of my brain subconsciously telling myself not to pull the trigger. But because my eye would move so fast and was in front of the bird, it was saying, you see it so clear, pull the trigger. When your brain was going, the lead's not right, don't pull the trigger. And it felt like your safety is on, and you couldn't pull the trigger until the bow was about to hit the ground. Then October, a couple of weeks for Nationals, is when the Gamel Cup got pushed back that year due to COVID. I was actually shooting Tom. I asked Tom C to come over and help me out, see if he sees anything, because I told him I was always struggling. It was very, very aggravating. And he saw right away what was the issue was. I lost the connection. So we kind of discussed, okay, it's time to get the head on the stock. And that was something I always thought about. But when you shot so well, head off the stock, you don't really want to change anything. But sometimes you got to make that change for the long term better. So Tom and I end up putting full gauze pads and blue painter's tape on my stock, and I shot the Nationals that year and finished 5th overall at the Nationals. So that was 3 weeks later after the lesson with Tom. So it was a tremendous help.
All right. So before you had that lesson with Tom, what was your scores like? What did they dip down to?
Shot a score after the incident happened. I shot a 67 at the Tennessee State FITASC. Was averaging low 80s, which 80 is not a bad score, but when you had been averaging 95 to 97 previously, then you go and all of a sudden you got your 15 birds below your average, and you haven't been able to post to school. That's gotten you back up close to where your consistent average is. It was pretty aggravating.
Wow, that's crazy. So how are you shooting now? Is your head touching? I still say your head ain't on the stock, but you say it is. I guess your head's on the stock now?
So how I would, I say my head is on the stock enough. It's not fully mounted. If you look at Anthony or George Digweed, you can't see my cheek go up on the stock. That is something I'm working on. I would like to have a little more cheek pressure, but granted, I'm also shooting good enough right now. I'm not sure if I want to change anything. For me, as long as I have a point of contact, as long as I know I can feel a connection between my face and the gun through the stock and have that point of connection, that's really the only thing that matters is you have that point of connection. It's when you have no point of connection or had a point of connection and then lost it due to inconsistent point of connection, which would be head off the stock. That's when issues start to set in. So definitely I'm very glad I was able to get my head on the stock with Tom's help. And I definitely won't be the shooter I am today without it.
All right, let's talk about some tournaments this year. All right, I haven't been to many. I've been to 2 or 3, okay? So I haven't been able to keep up with what you and everybody else is doing without looking at Score Chaser. How have you been doing on the championship tour this year?
Yeah, so this year I've had a very good year. Definitely been my highest average and consistency finishes I've had out in any of my years shooting. Started first tour stop this year was the U.S. Open. I was fortunate to be one bird off the U.S. Open, tied with Corey Cruz for third, lost the shoot off, shot fantastic in it. So that put me one bird off the U.S. Open and 4th overall there. Next tour stop was the Northeast Regional in Anthony Matarese's place in A&M in New Jersey. Joe Finizzi and I actually shot in the same squad. Him and I were neck and neck going to the last 2 stands. Stepping the last stand, first shoot up, missed 2 birds there. Joe steps up, shoots fabulous on the stand, and ends up beating me by 1 bird. And it's pretty cool to see the number 1, number 2 shooter on the same squad. Joe Finizzi won the regional. Then that was a 2nd place finish for me. That was a Northeast. Then go to the Southeast Regional. Had a fantastic shoot there. Ended up shooting 100 straight in the Super Sporting. Tied for runner-up in the 5-10, I believe. Was top 5 in FITASC. Then won the main event. Then had North Central Regional. Shot well there. Shot well in everything but the main event. So still can't complain about that. Whenever you win a trophy that says HOA. Shot in a shoot off HO with Thomas Jacobs. He beat me in the shoot off. So I was one up in the 5-10 there. Won the Super Sporting at the regional, and then had a good finish in FITASC. I think it was top 5 or top 10 in that. I don't remember the exact finish. Then that was North Central. Then come back and have the South Central Regional, which is the last tour stop of the year before Nationals. And very fortunate. Had a very good showing there. Shot my first event. Was prelim, shot 99 in the prelim there. I was fortunate to win that. Shot the 5-10 the same day. Shot 96 there. Managed to win that by 1 bird. Then shot very well in the main event. Had a very good last day on Sunday and high winds on some tough targets, and was able to win that by 4 birds. So it's been a good year so far. I believe it puts me in a very good standing to win the championship tour this year. So hopefully I'll be able to finish strong at Nationals and do that. And I think I might even have, depending on what age category I'll be in next year. If I'm in the open category, I believe I actually will be the captain of the open team due to how the points line up for this year. If I'm on the open team, but I'm not sure if I am or not. So it's been a fantastic year. Can't complain about anything.
So I heard you talked just a second ago about shooting with Joe. Tell me how you feel about the Super Squad.
Yeah, Super Squad, I like you a lot. Actually, Joe Finizzi and I shot together at Super Squad US Open as well. I think Super Squad is 100% needed for the sport. It makes it. There's no hearsay. You were there. You saw everything. It takes a lot of elements out as far as you have no variables of wind and weather conditions that can affect a course. So it makes one course easier for the other shooter. So it's an even more even and level playing field. I do think it's definitely what's needed, and it's in my opinion, it's the only way I think our sport, if we're going to film it, it's not possible to film somebody on 3 different courses on 3 different rotations on 3 different days while trying to film 40 other competitors. That's not really feasible in my opinion. So by condensing it down to one course, well, the top shooters school-wise going in that last day all on the same squad, it makes it a spectator sport. So I think it's very good for the sport, and it adds an extra level of competitiveness to the shooters because you know everybody standing beside you is in it to win it, and they're trying to beat you and you're trying to beat them. So it adds another element to it.
Yeah. I figured you would say that. Most people do say that.
Yes.
It'd be interesting to know if eventually all of the regionals, U.S. Open, and nationals are going to stay on Super Squad, or if some are going to do it and some aren't.
Yes.
I
would personally like to see all the regionals go to it. Because, like, if you look at the national championship last year's Super Squad, how many people do you think were on there last? My guesstimate was probably around 250 or 300 people. How many would you say were out there watching it?
Man, I don't know. I told somebody this the other day. It's definitely the most amount of people that I've seen at a rotation for sure. But it was like there was an energy there at nationals. I don't know how it would be anywhere else, but at nationals, it was like there was an energy. Like everybody was, like, I can't wait to see who wins this. And that's what I think was cool about it. I think for the shooters, it's probably fun. For the spectators, people watching, it's more fun. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to ride out there. Okay, we're going to ride out on a rotation. Oh, look, it's Todd shooting over here with, whoever you're shooting with that day. Okay, we'll watch him shoot a couple pairs and we'll leave, right? But when it's a super squad, it's not like that. It's like, here's Todd and here's, Zach and here's Joe and here's whoever all shooting together. Let's sit here and watch this whole squad shoot.
Yeah, and that exactly kind of goes as far as I mentioned earlier, as far as it's hard to watch people and spread out on different courses and rotations.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think another thing that would be very cool for the Super Squad would be on that final day, have all the targets be flash targets, which I think that would be cool. The only thing that might potentially affect that, because I believe flash targets are just a touch heavier because the powder in them, and they might fly just a touch differently. That would be something you'd have to test out. I think that would be very cool. Even if you didn't do it the entire course, for that last station, have a flash target in there for that championship photo or the winner. That's a headline of a magazine picture right there, cover photo.
That's a cool idea. Even, and I know targets are more expensive when they're flash targets. I don't know how much more expensive they are, but even if that one course, there's flash targets for everybody.
Yes.
I mean, even they're more expensive, but that way you can have flash targets when it comes to the final day of the Super Squad.
Yeah, no, that'd be a good idea, especially because everybody likes getting a good picture of them shooting. Not everybody gets the opportunity to shoot flash targets. I hadn't shot one for a long time, so by giving someone the opportunity, it's very cool to watch the breaks, because that's what you saw on the PSA and the YouTube videos that I used to watch all the time. And that'd be the spot. That would be given option for have a photographer on the course. That way, everybody at the event gets their picture taken that way, because then that gives more social media and marketing. Because if you get a cool picture, somebody's going to post it, and that's just more word of mouth spread at in my opinion, a very cheap price.
I'll tell you this too. My luck, I chip a lot of targets. I could still look like I was smashing them.
Yeah.
You just chip one. I can just knock that front edge off. Boy, that thing gets to blowing up. What?
There you go. Make you look like a masterclass shooter.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So last year on the Super Squad, Didn't you have a guy on your squad that was like the only shoot he'd ever been to was a charity shoot, and he ended up on the super squad with you?
Yeah, so he's super nice guy. We were trying to help him out as we went, but he was jumped in a little deep. So it was his first time ever shooting a NSCA registered event. I believe he said he had shot 3 charity shoots before. Super nice guy. I had to shoot behind him. Nothing wrong with me shooting behind him at all. But my expectation was a little off just because I was thinking super squad, I'm shooting with Zach Vizient and all that. That would be the only thing I would like to see a touch different about the super squad. It's not that I have an issue with him being on it, but having the expectation of knowing who's going to be on that squad. So that way, something like that. It's not that it didn't affect my shooting, but it wasn't something that I was expecting.
It was just something that it kind of like surprised you, maybe.
Yeah, it did. So if I was on my game, I would have won it. I would have shot as good as I could with or without, or I could have had an entire squad of people like him, and it wouldn't have mattered. But it just, as you said, it just kind of caught me off guard, surprised me a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I think they're doing that again this year. And, that's good for the sport, though, because those people are still, they're donating their money for that spot, which goes to, I think it goes to Team USA. So,
definitely.
It's still good to have those people out there. And those kind of people like to shoot with the good guys, So it's, there's that fine line there where you got people willing to donate some money and they want to shoot out there with them good guys. And, I think it's good, Todd. Just close your eyes next time.
Yeah. I think it's very good. The only thing I'm going to do differently, so whoever shooting my squad this year, I'm going to look up your name, just so because I've shot some amazing rounds and around people that's been the first shoot. I remember I shot a 99 at the Georgia State one year. The person in front of me, I believe, shot a 27. So it doesn't affect my shooting, but it just caught me off guard a touch.
Maybe it affects you a little mentally, just not just shooting, like. Just not what you expected. It doesn't
affect me as much as I'm shooting behind you, though. That really messes me.
You never watch where I'm shooting. I promise you. There's no telling when I'm gonna pull the trigger. So, did I see here recently? I want to say I saw you with some old fancy clothes on somewhere. Was you back in? It looked like you were in England or something.
Yes, no, I was back in England 2.5, 3 weeks ago. I was over there. I've had a new brand ambassadorship with a company called Hadley's Field Shop. They're based out of Highland Park in Dallas, Texas, Palm Beach, Florida, and New York. It's a company. It's an American brand that makes all the products are handmade in Italy, and essentially the design. If anybody's looking into upland hunting, if you're going on safari hunts, they do a lot of bespoke products, and they've given me the opportunity to work with them and represent their brand, which I'm very thankful for. So, and it is their clothes I will say, are the best clothes I've ever tried on. They've got a shirt that's called the Performance Shirt, and I was telling Justin before the podcast, it literally feels like you're wearing a long sleeve shirt, but it feels like you're standing in the refrigerator. I would definitely recommend by checking out. Like, I've got a big passion. One of my bucket lists is to go over and do a driven pheasant or driven partridge hunt in England and have the full experience. So I'm very happy to be partnered with this company, and hopefully I'll get the opportunity to do that.
Tell me about the hat. I'm kind of interested in this hat that you had on. Is this a hat you're going to start wearing places?
Yeah, so I don't think I won't wear it if I'm shooting clays, just because I've got other hats that are a little bit better suited for clay shooting. I guess unless I'm shooting clays in England, then I'll wear it. But I've had a lot of comments on the hats. So maybe you and I need to get one so we'll match it, or you need to get one so we'll match it.
Who are your sponsors right now?
Yeah, so my sponsors right now, I've got a Remington Ammunition, I got Promatic Traps, Compton Choke, JD Wash Repel. So it's a watch company. The guy's name is Jamie Dollar. He's based out of Ohio, and he does all the watches on eBay. And I have Castellani USA, then Hadley's Field Shop.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've actually got 2 big sponsors that that may be announced at Nationals, which I can't say anything about now, but people will just have to stay tuned and find those out.
Wow. There's some big announcements coming up, huh?
Yep. So it should be good. Now I'm very excited about it. So if anybody wants to keep up with me, just follow me on Instagram or add me on Facebook. That'd be the best way to keep up with it and see the announcements.
Now that you're, good status now, you're whatever you want to call it, you're good. A good shooter is what I mean. It seems like you're coming up now in the rumor mill, right? So
yeah.
Are you? What do you rarely eat sugar, right?
Yes.
But they say you're starting to drink every night. Is that right?
No, I believe that was incorrect rumor that got started. I'm not a drinker. I'm not 21.
I just wanted to clear.
Drinker, so I was a little annoyed when I heard that rumor. To be honest with you, that one kind of aggravated me a touch, especially because I heard it at the World FITASC. So I was a little disappointed about that one going around.
People really think you drink at night.
That's what I was told. It kind of shocked me. I couldn't tell if the guy was joking or not, but then I think he saw the expression on my face and found that was not true at all.
All right, so tell me what he said to you exactly.
So we were standing at the World FITASC in between Paul Coles. Came up to me and he just introduced me just like you'd meet him. He was like, "I thought it's nice to meet you." As I've heard you've been going out and drinking every night and town up to town. And I was like, really? Like, who was telling you that? And he's like, so and so. And I was like, well, I'm not sure if that was the most true statement. I've never drank a beer in my life because I'm not old enough to. So.
Well, he might have been talking about apple juice out of a juice box.
No, that could be believable.
Yeah. All right, so you're a story guy. Tell me about give me some stories. I know you got something funny that's happened this year that you can tell me about.
The one that pops in my head just right away would be a lot of it is me pulling pranks with my buddies. So sorry, Hoss, if you know what's about to be coming. She'll probably be smiling a little big right now. Hoss and I flew to California to shoot the Police Nationals, and Hoss was a little stressed out with the travel and the winter call and stuff like that. He typically drives everywhere, so I was like, no, I'm gonna help him out a little bit. I'm gonna give him some melatonin gummies. So I went and got a water bottle, bought a pack of those, and I told him they were for me, but I decided not to eat them so he can have the rest of them. So I dumped them all in my hand and gave them to him. Then he looks at the bag and he sees that it's melatonin. He's like, whoa, hold up. What does it say the serving size is on those gummies? And so I look on the bag real quick and I read, it says serving size, 2 gummies. And I've given Hoss about 15. And I go, Hoss, it says the whole bag, you're good. So he eats the entire bag of melatonin gummies, which if anybody doesn't know what melatonin is, it's designed to make you fall asleep on the flight. And so we flew back on Red Eye, and I completely forgot about it the next morning, and we're walking the airport. And I'm like, man, Hoss it's taking him a long time to read these signs. He's just kind of dragging his feet along, and then I realized what I did. I was like, Hoss, by the way, those gummies I gave you, those were melatonin gummies. He's like, what? And then long story short, I end up flying back. I go check in, fly back home. He drives back to the house. He gets home about 2:00. He then he shoots me a text message about 8:40 p.m. that evening. So that he says, "Thanks for the horse tranquilizers. I believe they just worn off. I just woke up from a 4.5 hour nap." So I got Hoss to catch up on his sleep. So it was a good trip. He thought it was pretty funny after the fact because it didn't affect him. Nobody got hurt too much other than Hoss just got a good night's rest. He surprised me with a first class ticket for my birthday. So if anybody doesn't know Hoss, you'll be able to see him at the next few shoots. You can. He's the guy that makes me look short that I post pictures of. His name's Hoss Stewart. He's from Maryland.
Have you heard the story we're talking about Hoss now for a second. Have you heard the story about him and the golf cart when he wrecked the golf cart at the shoot?
Yeah, I was actually at a dinner restaurant texting him, wondering where he was at when he had the golf cart incident. He's got probably more stories than I do, but
don't tell the story.
Don't just about what Hoss has done. So,
yeah, don't tell the story. I want everybody to go find Hoss. He's the biggest guy. He looks like he's 7 foot tall. You can't miss him.
Imagine me with red hair, but 6'9".
Yeah,
that's the guy. Then I'll even add another story I don't think Justin knows about that you can tell him about. Maybe we'll have to do a podcast called "Stories with Hoss Feud and Todd Hitch" in our adventures. There may or may not have been a chip called the One Chip Challenge that he ate at a certain said shoot. That I think he ended up not shooting the next day after he ate it, which.
Really?
That's his story to be told, not mine. But that's probably better than any story I could tell.
All right, so everybody go find Hoss at the next shoot. He'll be at Nationals, I know. Go find Hoss and tell him you want to hear about when he wrecked the golf cart and the chip challenge. There's 2 stories.
And ask about the wrecked golf cart and potential alligators.
Yes.
Then ask about the one chip challenge and around the FITASC the next day.
All right. You got anything else?
Anybody that's interested in lessons, just let me know sooner or later. Just because I am booking up, I'm already booking for Florida for this upcoming year, 2024. If anybody would like a lesson or has any questions about lessons and locations, shoot me a text message or email. My email and phone number is on my Instagram page. My email is in my bio, and my phone number is on my flyers on my story and on my posts. So just get in touch with me sooner than later on that.
Thanks, man. This was fun. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you very much, Justin. Thanks for having me on.
All right, man.
Thanks for listening. Remember to visit us online at shotgunsportsusa.com. Check out the products that our sponsors have to offer, and we'll see you on the next one.